Hello beautiful people, my name is Teresa and I'll be your cruise director on the magical mystery tour that is this channel. Today I've got a whole heap of DB Cosmetics in front of me. Not everything that I own because I've got a lot. Great Australian brand that stands on its own 2 feet, as well as having quite a few dupe products along with it. So, you know, I had my thoughts around MCO Beauty and their direct copies of making things look exactly the same. And look, I'm not going to lie, because this is their blush. This is one of their eyeliners. Rare Beauty, Charlotte Tilbury. Very interesting, but they do have some amazing products. So before we get to it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if at the end of this you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and sound off in the comments. So first off, we're going in with their Rise and Prime Luminescent Primer. Now we know I love a illuminating primer. They're my favourite. They've also got a blur primer and a hydrating one, but this is my jam. So going in with that today. This doesn't have as much coverage as the other ones on the market. It doesn't have that real glow, metallic glow to it that the Charlotte Tilbury's, the Elf, the MCO, and even the Rimmel. The Rimmel is more pearlescent. This is really hydrating with the, it's really a small amount of glow in actual fact. If I don't want to feel like a absolute disco ball, this one's really good. I do prefer, however, probably a little bit more glow for my buck. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Okay, going in with foundation. DB Cosmetics has a full range of foundations. So they have their two most populars would be the Skin Renew Ceramide foundation, which comes in the rounder bottle. They also have the Luminous, which is considered to be a dupe for the Giorgio Armani. They also have Velvet, which is a soft matte and 24-hour foundation. So, but what I'm using today is the Firming Age Revive foundation, designed for women that are aging. I've got the shade 742 Light Sand. You can see it's a thicker product, which is great. Just putting my glasses on to read the benefits of this. So, helps banish the appearance of lines, imperfections and discoloration. Hyaluronic acid to help hydrate and restore elasticity. Build to your desired level of coverage. It does say, it just says flawless coverage. It doesn't say how thick it is, like. Skin loving ingredients, peptide infusion, helps plump and firm the skin. Vitamin C and E to help reduce visible signs of aging. Aloe vera extract to leave skin feeling soft and smooth. So it's another one of those skincare infused foundations that are on the market. So with products like this, what it generally means is the more that you use it, the more benefits you get and the better that your skin appears. So how much of that I really don't know, because I guess it really depends on how much is it a skincare product with coverage, or is it a foundation with skincare ingredients that help boost. That's what you need to think about. So I'm just picking this up on the brush. It is thick. And I'll probably put too much on here. I don't think I needed as much as what I put on there, because I've just dabbed into this and it's covering. So now it says you can apply it with your fingertips, with a brush, or with a beauty blender. Now, because the viscosity of this is so thick, I would suggest, like I've gone in with a brush, and this is what happens when you use brushes with thicker products, is that you see brush marks. So I will go in now with a blender. This is just a Kmart one, by the way. I bought a big, just bear with me, big tub of them for $15. They're great. Might not have even been 15. So going in now, I've just picked up a little bit more. Going in now with a beauty blender, and I immediately prefer the finish of this with a beauty blender because it is thick. You get better coverage, and much better coverage in actual fact, and you also don't get the lines that you do from a brush. This is a much more seamless application of the product. Now I've got a few little pimples happening. I've been trying some new products. I've been doing some detox masking, and it's drawing stuff out of my skin, so we might cover them up in a minute. Oh, my hair. It's a work day. Okay, with this concealer, I have got their Skin Renew Ceramide Concealer. I've got the shades 401 Ivory on the bottom and 402 Beige on the top. So this is obviously ceramide concealer full of ceramides. So it does have a little spongy tip on the end. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So going in with beige, which is more my skin tone, around a few of the areas that I just want to cover and not necessarily brighten. Just that sit there for a bit, and then going in with the Ivory. It's a doe foot applicator. It's a really fine doe foot applicator, super thin. I really like this concealer, to be honest. It's not too thick. It's a thinner consistency, but not watery, that being said. Going in with a cat's paw brush for under the eye and letting that do the work. I just want to brighten up under my eyes just a little bit. Now, we are now in autumn, or as Americans like to say, fall. Okay, sorry, just going in around here. I don't know, we've had an interesting summer because of, is it La Nina? I don't know which one's, I don't know if it's La Nina or El Nino, one or the other. Somebody let me know in the comments. We haven't had, if you, I know that a lot of the rest of Australia has had a really great summer. Here in Hobart, we have not. We've had a pretty terrible summer this year. I just wanted a week where it got over 25 degrees. We did not get that. Okay, for setting powders, we've got a few different ones here. Now this is, okay, letting you in on a little tip. I've got a heap of loose setting powders. I haven't pulled them out today. I am going to use this Ready Set translucent setting powder. Do I like it? What do you think? It's a true translucent powder, but we've got a couple of other ones. Here's another one that is well loved. I will use these towards the end. They are setting powders. This is the Skin Renew Ceramide pressed powder. I've used it that much that it's worn off. This has got a big dent in it. There is that. But actually I might use this one instead. I'll put that other one aside. I'm going to hold off and show you something. You'll have to wait till towards the end that you might want to get. Shh. I'm not telling you what it is yet. You just have to wait. Because this is a product that I think is going to save you a lot of money. particularly with how things have gone up at, if you are Australian, at Mecca, the price increase. Jeepers. Are we seriously paying nearly $100 for things like Hourglass now? For the dim light. Thank God it lasts for ages, but it's bananas. This is a really good powder. Okay, we know that after I powder, I like to add a bit of hydration back in, so I go in with a layer of setting spray. Now, I did have the rose setting spray from DB. I have finished it and haven't replaced it, just because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different setting sprays on my desk at the moment, so I'm not replacing any until I get through everything. I will replace some, but they're my holy grails. So I'm just using the Revolution IRL All Day Filter. And I just fan that down to dry. Okay, going in now with the Quick Fix bronzer. This is the shade 845 Sunny. It's a bronzing stick, as you can see. Comes with a brush on the end. Is this a dupe for Mario? It's being used, you can see. It's everywhere. I don't mind this one at all. Don't mind me. I've made that really messy. So I'm going to start with this. Actually, I'll start down the nose. Can you hear that? Okay, it blends beautifully. Let's just use a stamping motion here. I reckon I will get my bigger brush out, just because this is going to take forever. It's going to take way too long to do that. So, stamping motions. To help it blend out and not disrupt product underneath. This is a product that you could use your fingers for should you wish. Under the chin, we don't have to be so particular about it. They do have the Get Glowing bronzer. This one is way too dark for me. I had a lighter one than this that I hit pan on and dropped and shattered. So one, tells you it was a really good bronzer that I hit pan on, because I don't hit pan on a huge amount of like particularly something like bronzers. I think this and Fenty are the only ones I've hit pan on. So that is blended out. Now going in, here's the choice. I have these are so close in shade, but they are different. I have the Make and Blush powders. This one here, or both of them in actual fact, Peach Glow and Rose Glow. So this is the Peach Glow, this is the Rose Glow. They are so similar to NARS Orgasm. I, many years ago, listed them as a dupe, and it doesn't really matter which one. I also have the Quick Flick Creamy Blush, similar to the bronzer. What I'm going to use today is the Sweet Cheeks Liquid Blush in the shade Strawberry. Exact same component as Rare Beauty. This is a really nice colour. I have used this before. Immediately what I will tell you is the pigmentation is not as strong as Rare Beauty. That's not a bad thing, because The Rare Beauty one can be a bit too much. So this one you build and layer up. Now I put that on the back of my thumb and then transferred. I'm going to go directly on my cheek. You can see I've put 3 big dots there. This blends out beautifully and is not insanely pigmented. So if you like the idea of this sort of blush but have been intimidated by the Rare Beauty, then this is a really good place to start. I picked this shade because it's sort of a universal shade. It's not too pink. It's, while it says strawberry, it's more a rosy colour, I think. So, and I'm going to set that just because it looks like it may not stay. You could leave it like that, but I actually want to set it today. So just going in with the Rose Glow. Again, you can see that's been well loved. Just over the top of that to set it. You don't, as I said, you don't have to. There's more than enough like that. Now going in with the All Over Glow Highlighting Shimmer. Face and Body Highlighter. You've got multiple shades in this that you can work through. It is, we know just looking at it that it's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury round compact that she bought out that had these sort of multiple shades through it. Hers didn't stick around for very long. I don't think it was a popular item. I didn't like it. I preferred this one over hers, over that one. And I love me the Glide Architect, whatever it's called, highlighter that they've got out now that are a single shade. They're beautiful. It's my favourite highlighter. But this is much nicer than what the Charlotte Tilbury had. And like I said, you've got multiple shades in there. I've mainly gone into this side with a little bit of this just on the high points of the cheek. If you are getting older, we don't need it up here where our lines are. Avoid that area. Just keep it on the fullness at the top of your cheek, and it'll give you rounded cheeks. It'll make your cheeks look lifted. So going in now with, what brow product have I got? The Absolute Brow Pencil, Fill and Volumize. This is, I would say, dark brown. This is it here. Typical spoolie one end, angled liner the other. I'm just going to do my brows off camera unless I've got something magical to say. I've used this before. I quite like it. I think this one pulls a little bit auburn on me though. Bear with me. I'll be right back. Okay, I've done one eyebrow. I'm coming back. I did that in about 60 seconds. I did it super quick. So let's see how we go doing this to show you in real time how quick this is to do. So this just sort of guides itself. It's got a wider pencil to it. It's not a micro pencil, maybe that's why. It's very pigmented. But it just glides along super easily and makes it really easy to do. Done. Super easy to do. I might have to pull that out again. Now I've got a couple of setting products. I've got the Unbrow-Leavable Clear Brow Gel. It's not clear anymore. I've used it a lot. And I've got the Highbrow Wand Sculpting Wax Styler. So I just dropped the end off it. Wax on one end, little brush on the other. Let's see if I just brush that straight over. Go in the other end. Now this is a wax. It doesn't set down hard though. Just going back in with this to brush it. It's a better brush than what's on the end of that. Holds it in place, but as I said, does not set down. It's a soft wax. Okay, I have just finished off my brows. I have also primed my eyelids, ready for eyeshadow. As usual, I've used a MAC paint pot in soft ochre. I'm just wondering, should I do an eyeshadow tutorial where I do one eye with primer and one eye without, so you can actually see the difference in what that does, how it blends, how it grips, how the intensity and opacity of eyeshadow comes out? Let me know. Okay, I've got a few eyeshadow palettes here. They've got quite a few of these, of the 6-pan ICUs, and then there is the On The Go face palette. These are great. If you've never tried one of their face palettes, these are bloody fantastic. And then they've got the Moonlight and Roses. These were limited edition. I think you can still get them in stock. My brushes are about to fall everywhere. The top one is Bed of Roses and the bottom one is Moonlight and Roses. They're very Charlotte Tilbury-esque. They're really good, but very Charlotte Tilbury-esque. But given that we are in autumn, and I haven't pulled this one out for ages, and I took this away on holiday with me a couple of years ago and loved every look I created from it. I am using the Fired Up. Look at that, for autumn. Come on. These are really pigmented. So, I don't know if they've got shade names. If you can hear a noise, Jelly is barking outside. Okay, using this as our transition shade now. We might zoom in a little bit. Just don't forget, teacup hold down the end of your brush. I say it every video and I'll continue to say it. Just small, sort of a cross between windshield wiper motions, which is this, and small little circles. So here's your hood. Your hood is your orbital bone. Sorry, your crease is your orbital bone. Here's your hood. Go in above that, looking straight ahead into the mirror. If you do not have a mirror at eye height that you can look into, do yourself a favour and get one. It'll make a huge difference when you worry that you can't see your eyeshadow. Going into the other eye now. I am trying out at the moment a new microphone. Is it the best microphone? No. It's one I found that I've had here for ages, and I just wanted to try and get the sound a bit better than what it has been, and not so trebly. I will probably buy a much better quality one sometime in the next 12 months. You know how it is. Sometimes you don't want to sink too much money into something you're not sure how it's going to go. Okay, going in next with this brick colour. As you can see, she's pretty pigmented. Just to deepen up that tone. And sort of the outer half, going in with that. Don't forget to move your brush around like this to change the intensity and the angle. So now I'm just sort of pushing that up and I'm blurring that out a little bit. Same with this side. Start going straight in and then swap. As you can see, these have all been crease brushes. I'm going to do something very soon on brushes, in fact. But I do love me a fluffy crease brush. So I start off with a fat crease brush, blender brush, and then go into more detailed. Cleaning off that brush now. If you haven't got one of these, it's just a brush cleaner. I'm not sure where I got it. Could be Temu, could be Shein, could be Amazon. Might have even been Sports Girl. Grab yourself one. That is completely cleaned off now. Going in with this mustard. If that does not scream autumn to me, and bringing that just in around the edge to the front and in just under the brow. Just warming it up. You can see just overlapping that there, and then bring it forward. Just little circular motions. Then down. Clean that off a little bit. And then up at that angle again. Okay, now, see, I like to use all the colours. I could leave it at that and then just put a shimmer on, but I do want to add a tiny little bit of depth. I will start off with, I'm going in with a very small brush now. I'm going to pack in this darker brown. Just into that outer corner. Now, I'm using this to place it, and then I will use a different brush to probably buff out. I just want to get the placement right on this. And I'm happy with pretty happy with where that's at placement wise. Now, back in with this brush. See, we don't use too many different brushes. I've used 3 so far. Back into this rosy colour. Just over the edge there. Just over the edge there. Because we want to lose that. And we just clean it off in between. We know how it is. We layer the colours. I slow this down a little bit for you, because normally I'd just go ham and do this in a few minutes. Cleaned off the brush again and just going over this to blend out now, and you just pull that forward a little bit as you're blending, and that'll help diffuse it. More to the side now, as you can see. Oh. Okay, we've got 2 shimmers in here. We've got a real terracotta orange one and then a shimmer, a champagne-y colour. So this will go all over our lid. This will be our inner corner. But first we'll do under our eyes. So I'm going to get a liner brush. I've got a angled liner brush going in with this. Stamping under my eyes. And before I blend this out, I'll go into my waterline with an eyeliner. So DB have got this range of eyeliners that, I'm not going to lie, are dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury, an absolute knockoff. I've been trying to get this shade for ages and I just couldn't from Charlotte Tilbury, so I was really happy about that. This is the Nude Awakening eyeliner duo. That is an absolute dupe for the super nudes. I've got both. So I'm going in with the brown side. There are so many products out there that are dupes. Actually, I might tightline up under here. So if you're not sure what that is, I get my eyeliner and I just push it up against the waterline of my eye. If you tilt it a bit more, it'll go right into the base of your eyelashes. It just makes, I don't know if you can see, it makes your, like comparing it, it makes the base of your eyelashes look thicker, and it's an alternative to putting eyeliner. Whoops, look at that. It's an alternative to putting eyeliner on your upper lids, which I don't do, simply because my eyelids are so hooded. Okay, I've cleaned off this brush that I used to pack the outer corner, and going into the rosy colour. We've had the brown underneath, and just right at an angle, using it to smoke out under my eyes and soften that brown shadow that we used. I don't use, cleaning off my brush again, sorry, I don't use eyeliner under my eyes. It's too harsh. I don't like the hard line. This is the closest I do, is in my waterline. The benefits, if you've watched a few, the benefits of doing this is that it stops any creasing that you may be getting under your eyes. Okay, using my finger, going in with this orangey pumpkin shimmer shade. Now, you can do this with, if you've noticed, a lot of mine styles are very similar in how I do my eyeshadow. It's just a variety of colour and the blend. I like a shimmer on my lid, though that being said, I am going to do a few all matte looks coming up soon. Pray for my soul, because I'm never without a shim shim. Ooh. But we will do it. I've got a really small little bullet brush now, going into the shimmer, the lightest shimmer, the champagne-y colour, into the corner of my eye. And I use this, if you push on your brush, right, dig it into your corner, push on your brush and push up, it'll automatically follow that curve of your eye and bring that up. Bit underneath on the corner. And what I might do is, I'm going to clean that off, because I want to use this smaller brush. I'm going to go into this orangey mustard, like this pumpkin-y colour, and just tiniest little bit. Such a good colour. Pretty happy with where that's at now. Just one last dip into the dark brown. See, this is what we do, we adjust as we go. And then I haven't even put anything on this, just over the edge. One last time. That is it for the eyes. So next up, what have we got left? Lips. Clean up. If you don't use microfiber cloths, people, do yourself a favour, because that's exfoliating my lips at the same time. Okay, now here's the product that I wanted to tell you about before I do my lips and my mascara. This is the Natural Ground Minerals Finishing Illuminator, 758. $7.99. So this is, I'm just trying to be really careful. This you turn and it brings out your product. Just, I was turning the wrong way. Brings out your product. This, let me see. This is an alternative to the Hourglass. Now, I'm using a fluffy brush, dipping into that powder and pressing it in. I would assume that this is in the high teens, maybe 16, 19.99. Is it quite as good? It's not. It's not exactly the same. It gives you the same effect. Not as great, sadly, but close enough. What they did have, I'm just reaching over here, what they did have, which kills me, and I'm being very careful with it because I managed to find one last one, was the Luminous setting powder. That was an exact dupe of the Hourglass Ambient Light. This, I mean, now that it's sat on for a minute or so, I've got fluff on my eye. I mean, zoom in and have a look. Look at that. You can see it's giving me that really nice luminous glow. So, tip from me to you, going in one last time with setting spray. As I said, I don't have a DB one. Now, with the, let me just fan this down and I'll have a chat to you about something. I've just fanned that down. I mean, look at my skin. So, with setting powder versus finishing powder. Setting powder sets your product, creates the longevity in it. Finishing powder, whilst also setting your product, isn't mainly about creating that long wear. It's about creating a more elevated look, a more seamless, blurred look. So just keep that in mind. If you just use a finishing powder, it is not as long wearing as a setting powder. So going in now with lips, I only have, this is, I think it's a mauvey colour, Pigment Pout. This is the only shade that I have in their range. Super creamy. As you can see, it's taking a bit, so it holds quite well. Now, I've got a few different lipsticks. I have a concern around what one to use looking at my eye, because I don't think I've got anything that's exactly the right shade to use. So I'm going to try the Shine Sheer lipstick in the shade Taste of Honey. It'll be similar to the Clinique Black Honey, no doubt. They're not the only ones that do this. Revlon do it. I think MK. This is not the right shade at all. So, definitely not the right shade to go with this. Little bit of a mistake there. What else have I got? I've really only got, I've got two reds, and then I've got Sunday Brunch, I think this is called, which is what I'm going to use. Because I don't need anything. That that works. I don't need anything too much with this eye look. Okay, the mascara. Oh, I don't want to use this. I hate DB's mascaras. I'm going to do a coat and then I'm going to swap to one that I like. I'd like to find a mascara of theirs that I like. I've used 3 or 4 different ones over the years. I just have not found one that I like at all. This is called Absolute Lash Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara, which, you know, is my jam. This, however, I mean, you can't even see that I've put a coat on. This is not my jam, sorry. Sorry, DB, I love so much of what you do. Your mascara just is not one of them. Like, it's just not. Like, I wish it was. Okay, so instead I am using, this is not a savoury product, this just happens to be one that I'm loving at the moment, the Okio mascara. This is an accessible mascara. Funnily enough, quick story, it's in a square tube. It is designed for people with sight issues. If you are really, you know, if you're struggling with your sight, if you're blind, I guess you're not going to use it, but if you are sight impaired and still doing your makeup, this there's things that you can scan that will tell you all about the ingredients. This, I'm assuming, is their name. This is designed by an ophthalmologist. I'm not going to say ophthalmologically, can't happen. Designed for sensitive eyes and is both lengthening and volumizing. I mean, look at the difference in one coat. I'm going to finish doing this and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I have gone and got dressed for work in a little bit of a pinstripey thing happening here. I mean, look at the finish on that. There's not much that I don't like in DB, to be honest. As I said, hate the mascara. But that's really the only thing that I don't like. I do need to get probably, I've got a lip gloss over there that I forgot about as well. I mean, you saw a lot of their stuff was really well worn for me. That being said, I've had this sitting in my drawer for ages and barely touched it. That is now coming out and sitting on my desk to use. This foundation, if I know that the Skin Renew and the Luminous gets all the hype with it. If you're over 40, seriously, have a look at the Firming Age Revive foundation. We're going into autumn now. We are in autumn. We're not so much about, I think the trends are going more to a more of a satin finish, which this has, and it's not so about having that super dewy finish. So I'll be moving more towards this sort of finish on my products over the coming months, I think, and I'm really happy with how that's come out. That highlighter has just gone in and melted into my skin beautifully. The eyeshadows, I love their eyeshadows. This one, like I said, I took away with me. This is great for me. This really suits my colouring. The other two that I have, this one here is more of an all year round. This cool tone with the pop of blue, I'll be pulling that out in winter for sure. But what do you think? Pretty nice, isn't it? Again, let's look at that finish. Okay, so that is it, people. Let me know who you'd like me to do. If there's anything that you would like to see, just come along and say hello. In the meantime, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to come along and subscribe to the channel. Have a look, see if there's anything that I can help you with. Just come and hang out with me for a bit. Until next time, bye.